10 years ago, 10 years ago, spun into, 10 years ago, some things happened that became the following most painful 10 years. No, let me try again. Wow, I'm like having emotion show up right now. I didn't know. Like, I kind of went public about this. I don't know, maybe it was 7 or 8 years ago, but I think some of the most intense, painful times of my life have also been some of the most powerful ones to share. But for some reason, I'm just, I couldn't talk until I was tapping into the feeling. And the truth is that 10 years ago, I was dating someone, and what a beautiful lovership that was. And I was traveling to festivals, and I landed at Costa Rica at Envision Festival. And at this point, the relationship had gotten really crunchy, but there was such a powerful, sensuous, twin flame, sexy magnetism in the connection. But on an emotional level, I was evolving, and I had made so many personal development commitments to really illuminate my spirit and empower myself, and also step into more emotional maturity. And at this time, the waveringness and the in and out of what was happening in the relationship I was really aware of it, but the sex was so good. And I was in Costa Rica, and it's, interesting and edgy, but I was on a mushroom quest, and it was expansive and it was divine. And I remember saying these prayers to become one with the universe, and, just mystified by what I was feeling and sensing about the aliveness and magic of this earth and of our souls and our spirits. And I remembered and realized that I saw the guy that I had been dating, and I was like, nah, can't do this anymore. I felt like I had elevated a dimension while he had gone down, and I needed to separate from that energy, because I have this really strange ability to start seeing when someone's heart frequency or the vibration they're in, or whatever you want to call it, can see someone's face change. And they started looking kind of weird and scary sometimes. So I made a stop. I was like, we can't be in this anymore, but we can still have sex. And it was the last day of the festival, and he was upset, and drinking wasn't really our thing, but we were drinking, and my energy was in a really subdued, just kind of exhausted state. Because anytime you're in the middle of a breakup, there's all of these processing conversations and trying to make sense of it and stand up for what you believe in. And I was tired, and I was like, maybe we could have sex one last time. And at this point, it was he and I had the most erotic, passionate, go to the cosmos, physical, intimate connection I'd ever had in my life. And in that experience, I did what to me now is one of the most unholy things that you could ever do to yourself. I remember thinking, when I felt us starting to get intimate, and he was just disassociated and angry. I felt his energy angry at me, in me. I just said to myself, I think I deserve this. It's the fact that I could just still be intimate, but I can't hold his heart. I felt bad about it. I knew it wasn't attuned, and I should never have opened my body and my energy field to someone that had so much hate for me in that moment, but I did. And not only that, I felt like I deserved it. I had no idea that sharing that intimacy in such a distorted, emotional, spiritual, and energetic place would turn into the next 8 years of some of the most painful days that I could ever explain. I came back and I had a UTI. And at that time, I didn't care as much about self-care like I do now, and valuing myself like I do now. And I took some random antibiotics I got. But first, I wanted to see if I could heal myself naturally for 2 weeks. And it was painful, and I was peeing blood. And this is such an intense thing to talk about online. It makes me really uncomfortable. But I was in pain. And for those that have had a UTI, you know what that's like to go through. But I'm like trying oregano oil and trying this and trying all kinds of things because I was antibiotic. I thought that was like the worst thing for you. But I wasn't taking proper care, and I got some, antibiotics given to me, and I don't even know if they're the right ones. I took them and the pain did not go away. So I just took more of the same antibiotic at a higher dose, and the pain didn't go away. And instead of going to another doctor to maybe get something else, I was like, okay, it's fine, everything's fine, it will heal naturally. The levels of I don't understand why it turned into this, and the layers, there's so many layers, but me not truly honoring and fixing it at that point turned into a chronic inflammatory illness called interstitial cystitis, which is like having symptoms of a UTI every day. And for the remaining 8 years of struggling with this and hiding myself from the camera, I sometimes would gain upwards of 20 pounds than I am now. And usually it was because of this different types of medicines that I would take. And if you were to list off every type of therapy that I used, and I tried Western medicine, Eastern medicine, Ayurveda, acupuncture, Rife therapy, like literally almost everything that you have heard of doing, including combo, including ayahuasca, including all these things. I did it all, and I never could fix myself. I didn't even know what it was called. I just had symptoms of pain and pain and pain. And at this point, where your bladder is, where your gut is, my whole system hurt. And I went on this journey of like doing anti-parasitic stuff, which actually really did work. But my whole middle of my body was in so much pain that I can no longer wear jeans. I didn't even care about what size I was anymore. And I used to be obsessed when I was 15. I had to be a 00 to feel beautiful enough. I didn't care anymore. All I cared about was comfort. I just wanted to feel good on my body, and I didn't want my clothes to restrict me. I wanted to be comfortable on a daily basis because of the amount of consistent pain. I wanted to feel like I was in pajamas, but I didn't want to look like I was in pajamas all the time. And also during that time, what really helped me was I started to realize that if I had the opportunity to choose a different life, maybe I needed to revise it in my mind. And this comes back to also what I've mentioned about self-love, self-care is so much in the head and in the mind, the health of the way you speak to yourself. And when I realized I was like so uncomfortable in my clothes, so uncomfortable in my body, I also realized that I think I was in some psychosis of my mind, feeling and thinking about the discomfort. And at this time, I started listening to Abraham Hicks and a lot of different other people that were channeling information about changing your life or manifesting something different. And that's when I started really paying attention. I'm like, okay, I have to disprove to myself or prove to myself that manifesting is real. And that's when I started taking it really serious, mind mapping. And I created this whole grid for myself because I didn't feel beautiful. I felt heavy. I was in a lot of pain. I was struggling with my finances. I didn't really feel that great in my romantic life. And also one of the symptoms of having this disease or dissociation that I had was sex was painful. I because my bladder hurt, everything involving this area was painful. And I was in and out of relationships. And I also, part of my own suffering was I didn't want to put my pain on others. So I didn't really tell people about it. And hiding your pain is not the best decision if you actually need to understand how to express it to reach out for help. And that's like me hiding was like avoidance, even though I thought that I was just being peaceful. But sometimes if you're holding trauma or chaos inside yourself, but you're holding a peaceful shell, it actually is not peace at all. So I had a lot of missing pieces to put myself back together because I felt like if life was a puzzle, all these pieces were just everywhere. And I would take one part and like, where's my mind go when I wake up? Am I gonna hurt today? How do I feel when I put on my clothes? Is this gonna hurt today? And I realized that my mind was imprinting this. And I was like, all right, I don't even know if I believe in manifestation. I grew up in a Christian household. I didn't really have much of this imprinted into my life, into my education. And I just decided that once I was diagnosed, what is life? I could live or I could die. But one thing I know is I don't even know how, after feeling so strong and beautiful and resilient and sexy and cosmic and yummy, how could I be in this drought of my femininity and in my health and live for the rest of my life? And so I made a decision that I would do everything in my power to change it. And that's when I started creating my own manifestation tools to imprint my mind, my heart, my spirit, like audibly, visually. I'd read books, I did different things to change it. One of the things that I did to start changing the way I felt immediately, not because I felt like, well, one day when I'm worthy, that's what I'll look good in my clothes or I'll feel good. I actually started making clothes for myself because my stomach hurt so much. And a lot of the things I had tighter waistbands, and I couldn't do it. It was so uncomfortable. Especially if I had slight weight gain or had just eaten a big meal, it would hurt even worse. And I've been told from many women that they have had similar experiences with clothes. And that's why when I started making these pieces for myself, when I didn't sell Royal Codes, I would make these tall waistbands. So this is super comfortable. But I make tall waistbands. You could stretch the fabric like this. And I had to find the perfect fabric that was also breathable. And also because I was in a journey in my spiritual awakening, like, what is like good for your aura? What's good for your energy? Okay, it's more natural, definitely not polyester that holds in the energy, anything. I was down to do anything in my energy field to support my healing. And clothing became a tool for me to find comfort in just being in my body, because then I was less imprinting my psychology, like pain. I was like, oh, that feels nice. Oh, that feels nice. Oh, that feels good. And I started also saying more to myself, oh, that, like in the process of just reclaiming my health and like being a vibrational, energetic match to that, I started changing it. And that is one of the fundamental reasons why Royal Code, before it even had a brand name, started, was out of necessity. Not just because I wanted to feel like I was in pajamas, but I wanted to look chic and sexy, is because I was actually in a lot of pain and I was struggling with my health. And instead of waiting to be worthy to wear the clothes when I felt like good enough or pretty enough, I was like, I need it now. And back to the deeper story of this thing with this guy and how I somehow maybe became a vibrational match to this negative thing because I thought I deserved it. This whole journey to get to today. There's a lot of things that I could share about what I did to heal myself. And I think repairing and remapping my mind. Have you ever heard energy creates matter? So there's vibration before there's form. And in my research, I just need to fix myself because no doctors can even tell me what's wrong with me. The amount of doctors I went to, they're like, we don't know why you hurt. All your tests came up negative. then I just had to go deeper, deeper, deeper down the rabbit hole, go, okay, well, no one knows how to fix me. So it's like me and God here alone, me and myself left to my devices. So I implemented clothing and these pieces that I made so I could feel more comfortable. And then I created all these different tools for myself. And also Abraham Hicks was a big ally for me, just to imprint like positive thoughts, positivity, because I felt like I was in such a negative rut. Positivity, but not from a fake place, from a belief and a charge that there's a different way and there's a better way and there's a new day around the corner and something great is coming to me today and tomorrow and the next day. And you know what? What I learned is that there's different energies. So there's energies that you can go upstream or downstream. And so when I'd catch my mind going downstream, I would just continue. I believe in something different. No matter what amount of days I've come from this pain or this challenge or this financial struggle or that relationship struggle, I'm just going to continue to move upstream energetically, because if no doctors know how to fix me, then I believe in all parts of me that I can fix myself with a redesigning of my belief systems and whatever that can do to charge and magnetize in this thing called manifesting. Because I didn't even know if it was real, but I knew that I had no other choice than to take the tools that I could figure out and create for myself and anything that I felt like helped me and change my life. And that's what I did. And I remember on these Pinterest boards that I made, girls in bikinis, that now when I look at a photo, looks pretty normal to me. But back in the day, I didn't want to be seen in a bikini. I didn't feel strong, healthy, resilient, couldn't go to the gym. And that's when I realized that what if our minds can really help create more of what we want? What if the energetics of our belief system and how we project ourselves forward, what if that really can change our future? So after that, like, I think it's about 8 years after I discovered celery juice. And I do believe when you can continuously attune yourself to what you want and to live in like an uplifted frequency of like how you want to think about it, speak about it, believe in it, there's this thing called I think it's lift practice, live in the feeling tone. And I continue to do that. And I think there can be breadcrumbs that God or spirit or source or whatever we want to call it can give us to get to where we want to go. And I just kept finding the breadcrumbs and believing. And when I had a bad day, sometimes you just have to be in the bad day, whatever it is that's taking you there. And sometimes that's the most authentic thing you can do, is not fake it, but then choose, okay, that was a rough moment. How can I rewrite and come back? And that was the journey of cyclically, sometimes falling down and getting back up, and the journey of keep getting up and getting up and getting up. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I know that there are so many people out there that have different levels of struggle, that I didn't have anyone specifically, really, other than Abraham Hicks, to turn to, but someone that was relatable, that had tools, that had been through it, especially with health stuff. And I've also had so many women say that they have been struggling with sacral chakra, bladder issues, inflammatory issues that are incurable, that don't know how. And one of the things I'll always stand behind is drinking celery juice, because medical medium, I got pointed, that was a breadcrumb, and I went on a 500-day commitment portal. And there's other things that I, yes, for sure did with my health, but I do believe there's certain things that can really clear and synergize, but it's not just a pill you can take or a drink you can take. I believe it's the full 360 to become a whole, well-rounded, strong woman or individual. It's partly how you can build the reservoir of your mind, how you talk to yourself, how you think about your future. If you can lift your energy to believe in the positivity that you want, even if it's not necessarily reflected to you from the people around you, from a culture, you can build the power of your inner confidence and your inner magnetism by living in that lifted thought form, frequency, belief system, through visualization, through all these different practices. And coming back to clothing was paramount for me, because if I had continued to wear restrictive clothes, regardless of where I thought I was in my journey of being beautiful, it could have kept me more entrapped in the frequency and the thought form of I'm in pain and I'm sacrificing and I'm not worthy. And so that was huge. It was a huge game changer. And I believe that clothes and fashion, it's not just this superficial thing that you put on your body and it doesn't matter. I actually believe in, like, on an energetic level, that clothing can be a tool for you. It can be like a way to uplift your physical and energetic experience, and a way for you to also like lift your heart and your mindset around yourself. I also believe in mirror practices. So one of the things that has helped me at different stages of my life to feel myself, to step forward into feeling more sexy or more embodied or more womanly, because if we rely on the world outside of us to always be our reflection, there's a really limited perspective as to what we're gonna get back, especially when I think the stronger we are on the inside, the more powerful we can be on the outside, and the more resilient and like self-loving and nurturing we can be on the inside also, the more beautiful we can be on the inside from the inside out. And I really do believe that the heart is a map of that energy. And I also I stand behind with World Codes that every woman deserves to feel good in their bodies. And one of our slogans is come home to your body. And that's not just something that was written in a board with a bunch of business people. Oh, let's make something that what women can identify with, and maybe they'll care about it. It's like literally, actually, I know what it feels like to feel like I was stuck in a prison inside my body because I was in pain that I didn't know how to get out of, in a mindset that I had to set free. So to come home in your body and to feel the comfort and ease of being a woman and finding the place to believe in your worth and your beauty and your own uniqueness, regardless of what your body looks like, different than mine, same as mine. It's not even about that. It's about every woman feeling good enough to love themselves exactly where they're at. And if you have goals, if you have aspirations, if you want to be more healthy, or you want to be more fit, or you want to get rid of your acne, or you have these other things you want to be, to believe that you're worthy of that. And I won't make you wrong. I have a lot of friends also that have had face work done, or breast implants, or different things. I don't even judge any of that. I think that if someone wants to feel more beautiful to themselves, whatever route that they take, because I'm not an advocate for anything specifically, I just want everyone to feel good in their bodies. But I do know for a fact that so much of it comes from the inside out. And if any of this resonates with you, I'm stepping out to share deeper, vulnerable stories, because I think it's important. And I'm not just the face of a fashion brand. I'm a young girl that has a big heart and also loves romance and has dreams and has also had a lot of struggles and has had pain and had an incurable disorder once and fell apart so many times that I've had to rebuild myself from the inside out, from the outside in. And I've realized that I think what we need more than anything is honesty and transparency of what it looks like to be a real human. Because as much as I want to stand and be strong and a warrior and always be a hero archetype to myself and to others, that's actually not what is real. Because I still struggle occasionally with health stuff or with life stuff, and that's what's real. That's what's real. So please let me know if any of this resonates, if you care more to hear about the health journey. I'm so grateful to feel so consistently well. I still have stuff happen, but I did heal myself. And I believe that if I did it, you can too.